guys, it's Emma here. We recently visited Coventry, so this video is going to be us going around it, and also we're going to be doing history because Coventry is actually full of it and it's really interesting, but let's go! So we arrived at Coventry Basin. It was actually really nice here, and then we managed to get a mooring pretty quickly. So Coventry Basin is actually at the end of the Coventry Canal, and the reason Coventry Canal was actually built, it was built to carry the coal from the coal pits in Coventry, Bedworth and Nuneaton to the rest of the Midlands. It opened in 1790 and took about 20 years to finish. It starts from Coventry Basin and it is 38 miles long and finishes in Fradley Junction. So this statue was actually outside our boat when we moored. It kind of scared us quite a bit when we sort of looked out the window. But this is actually James Brindley. James Brindley was involved in building the Coventry Canal, the Bridgewater Canal, the Oxford Canal, the Staffordshire and Worcestershire Canal. He also was responsible for building the Harecastle Tunnel. James Brindley started building the canal until he was replaced by Thomas Yeoman when it reached Atherstone. So the basin is actually surrounded by warehouses. These were rebuilt in 1914. One of the buildings were actually used by canal managers and they were used until 1950s and it was built in 1768. It's definitely worth to come and have a look at Coventry Basin just because it's quite interesting here and there is a lot of history around, and this bit is also supported by the Coventry Canal Society. Coventry is actually a really interesting mix of old and new. Since Coventry was bombed in World War II, there are sort of old buildings, for example, like the Coventry Cathedral, and then there are really new buildings, like for example Primark, all the really sort of modern new flats that are around. On several occasions, Coventry was briefly the capital of England. In 1451, King Henry VI granted Coventry a charter, making Coventry a county in itself. It retained this until 1842, when it was reverted to being part of Warwickshire. During the county period, it was known as the County of the City of Coventry. So this is the Philip Larkin pub. Philip Larkin was born in Coventry in 1922. He was one of the post-war England's most famous poets, and he was commonly referred to as England's other poet laureate until his death in 1985. So now we are moving on to Lady Godiva. This statue was in the middle of sort of the Coventry city centre. Lady Godiva was an Anglo-Saxon noblewoman who, according to legend, rode naked through the streets of Coventry in England, covering herself with only her long hair in order to gain remission of the oppressive taxation imposed by her husband on the tenants. Coventry was one of the most important cities in England during the Middle Ages because of its cloth and textiles trade. The city had an important role in the English Civil War and later became an important industrial city during the 19th and 20th century. So this is probably one of my favourite places in Coventry. I've been here before sort of the pandemic, but this is Coventry Cathedral. Coventry has had 3 cathedrals in the past 1,000 years. The 12th century prior church of the St. Mary, the medieval parish church, a cathedral of St. Michael, and the modern Coventry Cathedral. Sadly, since the pandemic, we couldn't go in again. I maybe hope to maybe go through again and take some photos, because Coventry Cathedral is beautiful, and also the history behind it is really interesting to me. And here's actually some old footage of when we first went to Coventry Cathedral, which I will show, that shows sort of the inside and some of sort of the statues around. The decision to rebuild the cathedral was taken the morning after it was destroyed. The Queen laid the foundation stone on 23rd of March in 1956, and the building was consecrated on 25th of May 1962 in her presence. So Coventry overall is a really interesting city, and it's actually one of my favourite places, especially with Coventry Cathedral around. Sadly, with the pandemic, we couldn't go and see a lot of things. For example, the Coventry Motor Museum, since it was closed due to the pandemic. But hopefully, maybe we can go and see it again, or soon, once everything opens back up. But yeah. So I just want to say a big thank you to my two new Patreons. I want to say a big thank you to Ratty and Edward for donating to my Patreon. It means the world to me, and I'm really glad you're enjoying my videos. So I hope you liked this video. If you did, don't forget to give it a like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you're notified every time I do a video. And comment on my social medias, my Patreon, and my Gmail, thenarrowboatgirl@gmail.com, if you have any suggestions for me. And I also do have a Canal address if you'd like to send me letters. But yeah, see you later. Bye.